President Ruto promised that Mombasa Road from JKIA will be recarpeted and beautified before the December holidays. Weeks later, KTN's spot check shows now bulldozers, no workers, no plans, and some sections of the road are still bumpy. Efforts to reach Kenya for answers proved futile as there was no responsibility taken, or rather response given, by the time of airing. Tonight, our political affairs reporter Grace Nganga takes you on the road that exposes a broken promise.
When President William Ruto addressed Jamhuri Day celebrations, infrastructure took center stage. He promised that several major road projects will begin immediately, and so KTN did a spot check. Among the headlines committed was the rehabilitation and recarpeting of Mombasa Road from here, the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. We began our journey at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where President William Ruto promised that recarpeting and beautification of Mombasa Road will begin in December before Kenyans broke for the holidays.
Kuanzia hii December mukienda Krismasi, tutajenga upya barabara kutoka kule JKIA kupitia hapa mpaka kule ABC na tuifanyie beautification.
The road did not reflect that promise. Driving out of JKIA, there were no bulldozers, no road graders, no workers on site. There was no lane closures, no warning signs, and no traffic diversions. Traffic flowed as usual, untouched. More strikingly, some sections of the road remained bumpy, forcing motorists to slow down or weave around uneven patches. These are the very sections that commuters expected will be addressed fast under the promised recarpeting works. Yet, there was no evidence of repairs or preparatory markings. Kilometers after kilometers from the airport towards the city, the scene remained unchanged. No fresh asphalt, no site markings, no sign of contractor mobilization. This was not a case of work happening quietly in the background. Major road projects leave visible footprints even at early stages: machinery positioning, traffic management plans, or site demarcations. None was present. The promise of immediate commencement has not translated into action. The beautification promised was equally absent. The same old green plan, unchanged and undistributed. There were no new landscaping features, no redesigned verges, and no fresh paint to suggest a facelift had begun. Mombasa Road was one of the several infrastructure projects President William Ruto said will commence within the year during the Jamhuri Day celebrations. With December timelines missed and no visible progress on the ground, a broader credibility question now confronts the Kenya Kwanza administration. If projects announced with urgency fail to materialize, how are Kenyans expected to believe the government's far more ambitious infrastructure promises for 2026?
Kaujao, vile tuko na expressway kutoka JKIA, pia tutajenga expressway kutoka Thika.
We reached out to Kenya to establish whether they received a formal directive or funding to commence the recarpeting and beautification as promised, but no feedback was received by the time of airing. The stalled works also come at a politically sensitive moment for the Kenya Kwanza administration, which is already facing pressure from court nullifications of appointments and controversies surrounding key policy and economic decisions. Against that backdrop, unfulfilled infrastructure timelines risk reinforcing a perception of a widening gap between government declarations and execution. For now, the evidence from the ground is unmistakable. Despite the promises made on Jamhuri Day, nothing is happening. Grace Nganga, KTN.
And well, that story from Grace Nganga brings us to a look at the newspaper. That's the Standard newspaper.